There are so many of us who the problem we're having is from our foundation. And if we are going to deal with it, we have to deal with it from its roots. Otherwise, it will remain there. Otherwise, it will remain there. And that is why I've come to encourage you today that the name that we carry, the name that we answer, can be a prophecy of our future disaster.
Thank you for joining us for another series on Revelation for Elevation. The Word of God is power. On this channel, you are guaranteed to be blessed, challenged, and elevated by the undiluted Word of God. The messages delivered by Reverend Augustine Momo will certainly enrich your spiritual journey. If you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified of new messages each week. Remember to like the message you're about to listen to and share it with a friend for their elevation. Blessings.
Revelation for elevation. The Word of God is power. Last week, I rounded up when I was talking to you about how come that the mother named him Jabez. And she said it's because she bore him with sorrow. Yes. But before we go there, how come? If you look at the book of Genesis, chapter number 3, verse number 16, you will see where God cursed the woman and said to her, as a form of punishment for the woman, that she's going to give birth in pain. She's going to give birth in pain. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the mother of Jabez named him Jabez on the account of Genesis chapter 3 verse 16? I don't think so. I don't think so, because if that is it, then every woman that gave birth to a child or that have a child will name the child pain, Jabez. Because the Bible, as a form of punishment to the rebellious woman in Genesis chapter 3, God says she will have child in childbearing, it will come with pain. So every woman who have kids today, it comes with pain. So the pain that this woman felt was not that normal pain, it was an unusual pain. That was why she was so angry and named this young man, casted a spell on him. And Jabez traveled with this spell for a long time. He traveled with this spell for a long time. Now, can you imagine you being called Jabez or Mr. Pain? Mr. Pain. Imagine everywhere you go to, people call you, oh, Mr. Pain. Here goes Mr. Pain. Here comes Mr. Pain. That is to say, if you're having headache, you say, oh, Mr. Pain, look at the pain that I'm feeling. Look at him coming to me. So anybody who sees Jabez, they remember their anguish. They remember the pain. They remember their trouble, because Jabez became pains personified. It is really sad. But the truth is that the name that you give your child can affect the child either positively or negatively as they travel, as they sojourn on this planet Earth. Let us be careful the kind of name that we name our kids, our children. Are you hearing me? It doesn't matter whatever you are going through, be careful what you call your child. Remember, the problem of Jabez, listen to this. The problem of Jabez began from the womb. So his problem is foundational problem. Yes, foundational problem. That's his problem. The problem is from the womb. There are so many of us who the problem we're having right now is from our foundation. And if we are going to deal with it, we have to deal with it from its roots. Otherwise, it will remain there. Otherwise, it will remain there. And that is why I've come to encourage you today that the name that we carry, the name that we answer, can be a prophecy of our future disaster. It can be a proclamation of our future disaster. So we must be very, very careful. Yes, man. And I say to you today, it doesn't matter whatever curse that the enemy has unleashed over your life, it can be broken. It can be taken away. But let me say this to you. Do you remember? In Proverbs chapter number 1, verse number 2, it says, as the bird by wandering, and as the swallow by flying, so curseless shall not come. Now, the reason why, what's the name? Jabez suffered so much was because he caused his mother some pain, extraordinary pain. Now, but I want to say to you today, even if that was your case, that curse can be lifted. Even though the Bible says curse cannot come. Yes, any curse in your life must be because of there is something that you have done. But the truth is this, it doesn't matter, because the Bible says even the lawful captive shall be delivered. You are as guilty as charged, you can also be delivered. He said even the lawful captive shall be delivered. He said, I will contend with them that contend with you, and I will save your children. Yes, you are engaged in some battle right now. God can bring victory not just to you alone, but to your children and children. And that will be your lot. That will be your portion in the name that is above every other name. What does the word curse? What does it mean? A curse. When somebody is under a curse, what does it mean? What does the word curse mean? That phrase, that word, curse, what does it mean? Let me give you a few definitions here. The word curse can be defined as a word intended to bring about a negative result for another person. It's a word that is intended to bring a negative result into your life. But in the case of God, a curse may be an action that punishes a person or people. That when God unleashes it on you, it's a form of judgment coming from God to you. Let me show you that one. A curse also, it relates to binding utterances. Binding utterances and with negative and damaging connotation. Yes, man. It's related to a binding utterances with negative and damaging connotations. A curse also is associated with binding holds, and it can refer to demeaning and harmful speech directed from one person to another. So somebody can make a woeful pronouncement on you. People can do that. So you have to be very careful that whatever people say to you, don't allow it to settle in your system for it to take effect in your life. You must quickly, when it's something negative, reject it. Otherwise, it can become a stronghold in your life if it's not dealt with on time. Why am I here today? I am here to tell you that the trap of Jabez, wherever it's located in your life, it can be broken. Just follow me and the Lord will bless you. I see you next week. God bless you. I see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Revelation for Elevation. We trust that you were edified by the message. Here, we are a community and we would love to hear from you and pray with you on your spiritual journey with Christ. You may contact Reverend Augustine Momo and submit your prayer request to revelation4elevation23@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow us on all social media platforms at Revelation for Elevation. Stay tuned for another empowering message. And until then, stay blessed.